All I can say is, guys, I hope that after 310 episodes, that you are so glad that you cannot smell the war room through the screen, because right before the show started, this one right here made this room smell not good. Tell everybody what you did. Tell them. Did you poop on the floor? Did you? Does it smell really bad? Does it? Yeah. For anybody that's new to Cocktails in the War Room, I'm your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the smelly war room. This is Friday. She's a shitter. Tell him. Tell him what you did, pooper. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. You want to say anything else? No? You want to be quiet? So let's just say that right now I'm trying to find my happy place. But if I had the nuclear codes and you said I could get rid of that smell if you give them to me, guess what? I'm giving up the codes because it stinks in here right now. Got to say what's up to Mr. Cole, also Denise and Lisa, Carol and Jonathan, Jessica and Will. Let's see, Dina watching us on YouTube. Brett, hello. Yeah, no, it was not a Friday fart. Let's get it straight. There was production. It was terrible. Friday dropped a landmine. Bish, ding, 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 ding. Brutal. We just took him outside. Just took him out. So I don't understand. Wednesday's over here disgusted. She doesn't even want to come over here right now because she's like, no, the shitter's over there. Right? Yeah, you're the shitter. Jason says, hey, Carrie, sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. Just a smelly war room over here. Brutal. Jessica says, legendary drummer from Judas Priest, Les Ninja, passed away at the age of 73. Yes, he did. As a matter of fact, a few drummers have passed away. The original Blondie drummer that got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the band, he passed away last week as well. Melissa says, Walter, get the Nutra Air. Let me tell you what. So Friday just went to the vet at the end of last week. Tell everybody you're fine. Clean bill of health after getting fixed. Her dental work, her incision, she healed up great. She's no restrictions. Everything's fine. She is a half a pound less than Wednesday. And so when I just tell you that this dog, she's only 16.7 pounds, but the smell that dog can create, I don't care how big your dog is, there's no way it's worse. There's just no way. I don't know what it is about small dogs that they're able to just generate such pungent aromas. Tim says, what's up, everybody? Yes, Jason, a very shitty situation. Wink Martindale passed away too, says Will. I know, it's crazy. Let's see. Keith says, hello, fuckers, to everyone. Yeah, so that happened right before the War Room started. So welcome to episode 310 of Cocktails in the War Room. Sorry about last week. I got called into work at the last minute, and it was such a crazy day anyway. There was no way for me to juggle anything. There was no way for me to make it happen. So I don't like canceling the War Room because you guys know I love hanging out with you guys every week, but it just wasn't possible. Where is she? What are you doing? Do you want to come sit so where everybody can see your cute yet smelly face? Come here. What are you doing? Come over here. Come over here. Here. You can sit on my lap. I know your butt's empty now. Yeah. Farter. Shitter. Tell everybody that you're all better and say thank you to everybody that was worried about you. She got a little scar on her belly under here, right here. But she's okay. The stitches dissolved. The vet's very happy with her progress. She's good to go. So thank you guys for all of the well wishes over the last couple of weeks. She just got fixed. Nothing was wrong with her. She just got fixed and had to have a couple baby teeth extracted because they were in the way of her adult teeth growing in properly. Shane says, I switched my dog food when she was a few months old, which seemed to help a bit. Yeah, Shane, like, there's that. And then, of course, like, there's whatever treats, you know, the dogs get. So, like, yesterday they got some scrambled eggs and little pieces of bacon and a couple pieces of, like, little hash browns. Like, I don't give them table food often because I'm very concerned about having them get fat because fat pugs can't breathe in the summertime when it's really hot. So I'm very careful about the dog's diet. But I also like want them to experience the joys of tasting delicious things. So every once in a while they get tasty treats, but I might think twice about the tasty treats if that's the price that I'm going to pay. Let's see. What's up, Mr. Wyman? Patrick saying, hello, beautiful Mistress Carrie. Thank you for the compliment. Let's see. No pant day, said Sherry. You know what? Every day should be no pant day, especially if you work from home. How will they know? How will they know? Although my husband did tell me that during COVID, commanders would make Marines on teleconference stand up, and some guys got caught like wearing uniform tops and like boxer short bottoms. So sometimes they know when you don't have pants on. Sometimes they know. Frank says, hey, Carrie, hope all is well. All is good, Frank. The warm weather the last couple days. First of all, I got 6 inches of snow over the weekend, which was complete bullshit. The warm weather over the last couple of days. Garden update. I finally, with a little help from Mr. C and my bonus son, who are up here for spring break right now, was able to get the shed cleaned out, the garden rototilled, the peas planted. So we are on track with the garden now. I was behind. I'm hoping that the peas being about 12 days late into the ground is not going to screw me up too bad, but they are in the ground now. So I will give you guys garden updates when I have them. Let's see. Will wants to know how the Woo Sox broadcast was. Guys, I met Babe Ruth's granddaughter, Linda. So Babe Ruth had one daughter. She, over the course of 2 marriages, had 6 kids. And Linda is 70 and she's the baby. And she is the one in the family that is in charge of the Babe Ruth estate. One of the things she's trying to do is get Babe Ruth's number 3 retired league-wide. Jackie Robinson's the only player that has his number retired in every team. But she's been pushing for Babe Ruth to have his number retired permanently. But it was really interesting talking to her. I asked her about whether or not she believed in the curse of the Bambino, which she did not. I also asked her, when you're Babe Ruth's like living heir, if you get into the Baseball Hall of Fame whenever you want. She said yes. She basically has like a backstage pass to the Baseball Hall of Fame, which is hilarious. Keith says, Carrie got 6 inches. Congrats. So my husband and my bonus son left North Carolina to come up here for spring break, and it was 90 degrees in North Carolina. They get up here, and not only is it cold, but within like 36 hours of them arriving, we got 6 inches of snow, which was ridiculous. If you got snow over the weekend, you know it was like the best snowman, snowball making snow. So for a good 5 hours, I had a giant snowman in my front yard. And then it got so warm the same day that the thing fell over and then it started dying. And let's just say Frosty is dead in the front yard now. So Keith says, I told the weather people to send snow your way. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Not Keith, sorry. Thanks a lot, Kevin. I appreciate that. Will, I did not ask her about the famous piano. However, Mike Shue told her something she didn't know about her own grandfather, that Moyna's, the bar in Worcester, the bar is actually made out of an old bowling alley that used to be in the building. And Babe Ruth, that was like his favorite thing to do because he used to come to Worcester all the time because he was a big Holy Cross fan, and he used to go bowling all the time. And so they took the bowling alley that Babe Ruth used to bowl on and they turned it into the bar top at Moyna's, which is something she didn't know. Mike Shue was at the Woo Sox game at the broadcast. So yeah, there's pictures up on social media, but it was really cool to meet her. Brendan, I believe the Yankees retired Babe Ruth's number, but no player besides Jackie Robinson had his number retired league wide. It's a team by team decision. So that's just been a passion project for her, is trying to obviously keep Babe Ruth's legacy alive, but also to have his number retired league wide, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but she was a really cool lady. She actually gave me her cell phone number and was like, if you ever want me to come on the show and talk baseball or talk about my grandfather or like whatever, I can totally do that, which I thought was badass. What's up, Rachel, joining us on Facebook? Michael Cole says, yeah, he hung out at the Hotel Vernon bar. Yeah, there's so many Worcester stories with Babe Ruth. It's kind of crazy. So the bowling alley was upstairs at Moyna's, Will said. Yeah, so they turned it into the bar. So when you go to the bar at Moyna's, it's the really thin boards that they make bowling alleys out of, because that was where he used to bowl. So Joshua Smith says, Mistress Carrie has no competition. Thank you. I appreciate that. Brett says, Danielle is your competition. Now, I just wanted to point this out, okay? If you look at all of the people in Massachusetts and around New England that are on the air in prominent positions at whatever station they're at, so I'm talking Greg Hill, I'm talking Mike Shue, I'm talking me, I'm talking Nick Stevens, I'm talking Maddie Blake, Stiz, who is producing the afternoon show at WEEI now. You look at Danielle, the legacy of AAF is everywhere in a major way at radio stations all around New England. And so it just kind of goes to show you the talent pool that AAF had amassed in one place for that window of time. It's pretty spectacular. I was super happy for Danielle. I'm really glad that she's doing what she's doing. We're all thriving. Everybody's good. So that makes me really happy. So what's up, Colleen on Instagram? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Annette says, hey, peeps, what's going on? Hold on, I need a sip. Friday has fallen asleep on my lap right now. Are you just going to nap? Are you just looking for some positive reinforcement because I yelled at you about the poop and now you're just laying on my lap right now, just taking a little snooze? Okay. I want to thank everybody 2 weeks ago that passed the word along about the GoFundMe for Tim and Melissa. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, because we didn't do the War Room last week, so Tim and Melissa, OG War Room family members here, their house caught on fire because of their Halloween decorations last year. And yes, the house was insured. Yes, they are in the rebuilding phase. I did not know this, but some people that love them reached out to me a few weeks ago to tell me that the insurance company, while they were covering a lot of the rebuilding and reconstruction, they were not covering the electrical and plumbing repairs to get the house livable again so they can move home. They have them at home since Halloween. And so their loved ones put together a GoFundMe to help them kind of get over the hump with the construction costs so that they can get back home again. And so I shared it a couple weeks ago. Melissa had no idea that we had even talked about it, and then got word while she was traveling that the whole War Room family was talking about the GoFundMe. So A, I wanted to thank everybody that made donations already. B, I want to thank everybody for posting about it and spreading the word about it. This is just a small way that, you know, Tim and Melissa can know that we're thinking about them, that we care about them. This has been an online support group for more than 5 years now, since March 14th of 2020, when we started getting together here in the War Room. And the fact that, first of all, that something could happen because of my favorite holiday, and there was a Mistress Carrie in the Halloween decorations that set the house on fire, which makes me feel partially responsible, even though I didn't have anything to do with it. So I just wanted to thank everybody for all of the love and support, the messages of well wishes and love that you guys are sending Tim and Melissa, and obviously everybody that's been sharing the GoFundMe and making donations to the GoFundMe. It's pretty awesome. So Friday just woke up and is barking off my lap. Let's see. Jason says the Sox are up 6-2, the bottom of the sixth. Melissa, she says, I still can't believe you are doing this. Thank you. Melissa, we love you. Like, why would we not want to help you? And I know that, a lot of people are struggling. There's a lot of financial uncertainty out there. Everybody is just trying to figure out their own place in the world right now. But GoFundMe is one of those things where you can make the smallest of donations. You can make the biggest of donations. It's a way that a big group of people that care about you can kind of collectively do something to help you. So, I just wanted to make sure that for anybody 2 weeks ago that wasn't here with us in the war room, we didn't get together last week. I do need to get this posted up on Facebook too, but I know you guys can just put the link in the comments once again, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, so that people can find the link to the GoFundMe really easily. And, $5, $10, whatever it is, just trying to galvanize the collective power of the war room to help Tim and Melissa, because we just want to get you guys home. I can't imagine. I had two unexpected pretty major construction projects that have happened over the last 6 months here, both one above the studio MCHQ and the other one next to the studio and MCHQ. So disruptive between the construction dust and the disruption of my work, the banging, the dealing with the stress of the contractors, trying to make decisions, ordering stuff that's back ordered, the timeline getting all screwed up. I can't imagine it being my whole house. I was able to stay home during the construction. I can't imagine not being able to go home, going through the holidays, going through the winter. And I know that the insurance company has been helpful in making things more comfortable for you, which is good. You pay the bill, they should be. But I learned from my cousin who had to live with me for 9 months when they discovered the leak under her house that had caused mold throughout all of the walls in her whole house when she brought her newborn baby home. I know, watching them battle the insurance company, how slow these things can be. It also makes me think about huge, massive, destructive, like forces of nature, right? Where you see those swaths of destruction that go through, and like one of those giant tornadoes just wipes out towns and neighborhoods. Obviously, the California wildfires, the most recent example, where you've got not one person in the neighborhood that's dealing with trying to get contractors and supplies and dealing with the insurance companies, but that your whole town is doing that at the same time. It's just insane. Everybody was also in the war room a couple of weeks ago talking about trying to help with electrical work and plumbing work. And, once the major construction is done, as the nice weather comes, is there a way for, us to be able to help and to make the house beautiful on the outside again? Like, we just want to help you. So if you guys haven't checked out the GoFundMe, it's on GoFundMe. Support Tim and Melissa after fire tragedy. You'll find this picture on the profile, so you'll know you're in the right place. And I just want to thank everybody that has been helping them out. So that's the situation here in the war room right now. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, we caught you napping with all of your toys over there. Watch, she's just gonna fall asleep. Shh. It's okay. You can go to bed. Go ahead, just go night. It's okay. And then Wednesday's on the other end of the couch over here. So I'm about to have like full on Dolby Atmos surround sound pug snoring happening here in the war room right now. So Marcy says, hey, MC, Wednesday and Friday and War Room family. Hello. Melissa says, I agree. I cannot wait to get back home. When my cousin moved home after 9 months of being out of her house, she was just so happy. Not that she wasn't grateful to be able to stay here with me, but just so grateful to be able to go home. And what's really funny is that my cousin's dog, she pug sits a lot for me. And so she'll bring her dog over because her and Wednesday became really good friends. And her son, Dax, my nephew, was with Wednesday all the time as a baby, but now because they pug sit, knows Friday as well. And so when he comes over, he's like, Wednesday, Friday, Wednesday, Friday. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. I apologize. And the dog and my nephew know their way around the house because they spent so much time here, which is kind of cute. So, let's see. Carol says biscotti's on the way. Don't threaten me with a good time. My husband and my bonus son today, as I was in the studio all day today, decided to go into Boston on a walkabout. So while I'm in MCHQ editing this week's podcast episode and doing the radio shows, I'm getting pictures of them from the North End, in front of Bova's Bakery, in front of the Bunker Hill Memorial. They did bring me home some pistachio macaroons, which, by the way, if you have ever gone to the North End, it doesn't matter. Bova's has them and they're delicious. Mike's Pastry has them. Modern Pastry has them. It's one of the few cookies that I grew up at the bakery not making. And so while cannolis and all of that stuff is great, I made so much of that when I was growing up in my grandfather's bakery. But those pistachio, because you guys know how much I love pistachios, those pistachio macaroons from the North End are like the greatest thing ever. And anytime that I bring, like when I brought Tim Montana and his band on the Mistress Carrie tour of Boston, I always take them up Hanover Street. Most of the times the bands want like traditional New England seafood. They want steamed clams, they want clam chowder, they want lobster rolls. And the North End really isn't that place. If they want Italian food, I 100% take them to the North End. But even if I take them to Legals or something else, I always say, don't get dessert because I'm going to take you guys to the North End and I'm going to take you to get dessert. And I always get a box of those pistachio macaroons. And I'm like, guys, you have to try these cookies. And I've never had somebody go, yeah, I don't like those. Like, they're freaking delicious. And everybody makes them in the North End. And they're so, so good. Brett Feldman says chicken jockey. So we have to talk about the Minecraft movie for a second. So that is not a movie that I normally would go to the movies to see. It's something that I would wait till it came on demand or one of the streaming platforms. But can you guys hear me okay? Hold on. Do I sound all right? Because I just realized that there's a cable unplugged in here. Do I sound weird? Do I sound better now? Could you guys hear the music at the beginning of the show? Something got unplugged. I don't know if it was wrestling with the dogs or what, but things should be better now. So the Minecraft movie is not something I normally would have gone to the movies to watch, but my bonus son wanted to go. So we went over the weekend and I sound fine. Yes. Define weird, loud and clear. Yes. Yes, you sound great. So we went and saw it. I don't know much about Minecraft because I didn't have little kids through that kind of Minecraft craze, but my nephews and nieces had the swords and kind of all of that stuff. And so we went and saw the movie. First of all, the soundtrack is great. Queen is in the soundtrack, which, by the way, Brian May did an interview like 2 weeks ago talking about Don't Stop Me Now and how when they wrote that song, that he really didn't like it because of the message, because it was kind of glorifying Freddie Mercury's like hedonistic lifestyle. It had nothing to do with him being gay, but just the partying, the drugs, the that kind of stuff, because Brian May's just never been that guy. And what I think is funny is that Brian May said a couple of weeks ago, I totally understand why people love that song. And obviously all these years later, I'm happy and I love the fact that that song kind of has taken on its own meaning. But I thought it was hilarious because that's the song that's in the Minecraft movie, and that movie is kind of for kids. And here's this song from the 70s of Freddie Mercury's hedonistic lifestyle that Brian May actually didn't like because he thought it was too supportive of his hedonistic lifestyle. And now it's in the freaking Minecraft movie. That's an aside. Otherwise, the soundtrack, if you look it up online, there are certain songs that were in the movie, like Skid Row, that were not in the like online soundtrack, but the guys from Dirty Honey getting a big look in the Minecraft movie. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a lot of 80s references. Jason Momoa, he is single-handedly trying to usher in bringing back the 80s fringe jackets, which, by the way, I still have mine, my black fringe suede jacket from Wilson's Leathers at the mall. I still have it. It's still in unbelievable shape. And if that fashion thing comes back in style, my bonus daughter is like right in that wheelhouse, getting ready to go to college, that if that stuff comes back in a style, I can outfit her like nobody's business with OG stuff. So Bish says, Walter, call the Geek Squad. Finally, we have sound, says Keith. Let's see. Yeah, the Minecraft movie was good. Look, it's not, it's not Schindler's List, but it's really funny. And the fact that it's become this like audience participation thing where kids are going to see the movie multiple times and they're yelling back at the screen like Rocky Horror Picture or something is kind of hilarious. And so, they're saying on one hand that there a lot of people are getting kicked out of the theaters for being disruptive, but they're also saying on the other hand that it's making more and more people go to the movies to see it because they want to experience it. There were kids at the theater that I was at in costume. They brought their Minecraft swords that were all lit up during the movie. And it's the first movie that I've been to in a while where at the end, everybody cheered. Like that hasn't happened in a while. So I thought that was kind of cool too. Jessica says Brian May is a genius and incredibly talented. He's literally a rocket scientist. So yeah, he is legitimately a genius. Took my kids to see it on Sunday, says Danae. It was good, right? I thought it was good. Let's see. Shane says whatever it takes to bring movie theaters back. Look, I love going to the movies because I love the giant screen. I love the all-encompassing sound. The fact that they've put the recliners in all of the movies is huge because I like being comfortable, but there is something to be said for this collective suspension of disbelief where hopefully everybody's phones are down and you're sharing popcorn and like the laughs. Like that's my favorite part is going to the movies and watching something funny and being in a room full of people that are collectively laughing at the same time. Horror movies in a movie theater, totally different thing because I'm the one that's like, and then I'm the one that screams and everybody else is like, oh my God. But going to see things that are funny in the movie theaters, that I love because I love being in a room with a bunch of people laughing at the same time. That's why I love going to see stand-up comics because there's just something, to me, it's like you leave and you're happy for hours and hours and hours afterwards. And it's not just because you had a good time, but because you were in a room with a bunch of other people having a good time. It's the same kind of thing I get from going to concerts, that everybody kind of experiences that thing at the same time and you leave feeling like you were kind of part of something. I just love going to the movies. I love cherry icy and a giant bag of popcorn, and I am a happy camper. It's my favorite thing. I talked about it all day on Sunday before we went to the movies. I was like, so help me God, if that cherry icy machine is down at the movie theater, I'm going to be heartbroken because I've been thinking about it all freaking day, and the cherry icy was delicious. So there you go. Let's see. Jerry says, hey, Carrie, what's up with Godsmack? What the heck? I am shocked. So I can tell you guys this now. The news that Tony Rambola and Shannon Larkin retired from Godsmack, this is like the worst kept secret in rock and roll. They played the Mohegan Sun Arena in October. They announced on stage that night in October that it was the last night they were going to be playing together. At the end of the show, all of the band members were on stage crying together. So they all knew that Shannon and Tony were retiring from Godsmack. And it's exactly what they said in their statement, is that the guys have been road dogs touring for years. They've missed out on a lot of things with their spouses, with their kids. I think they're finally at a point where the band members are comfortable financially. Tony Rambola just turned 60. Shannon Larkin's 58. And they're like, you know what? We want to kind of enjoy ourselves. They made the last album, Lighting Up the Sky. They toured on that last record. And then the band made the decision that they were going to tour off the catalog, and that Godsmack was going to go out on the road and play a lot of deep cuts, play a lot of the songs they haven't been able to play. And I think the idea of continuing on and just touring for Shannon and Tony, and I don't want to speak for them, but I just think they looked at it like, this isn't the only thing I want to do. Those guys are in a blues band together. They live close by in Florida together. And so I know that playing the blues and kind of mellowing their lifestyles out a little bit is something that they wanted to focus on. And I think for Robbie and for Sully, who started the band together, they looked at it like, well, we want to keep the band going. And so everyone kind of amicably said, okay, that's just what we're going to do. I knew it was coming for months now because I had talked to Sully about it, about finding players to go to Europe with, which was all part of it. But they never made an official like press release statement. And somehow them saying that on stage at the Mohegan Sun Arena in October never hit the press. I talked about it on the air because they were thanking all the people that had helped over the last 30 years. I was in DC with my family in October, so I couldn't go to the show. And they thanked me on stage and thanked all of the people that helped to make the band what it is. And so I talked about it on the air back in October when it happened. And somehow, because the band didn't release an official statement, it just kind of went under the radar. And then when the band went to Europe and they were on stage and Tony and Shannon weren't in the band, everybody was like, what's going on? But this was kind of agreed upon and kind of the worst kept secret in the world. And there's no nefarious intent. Like, there's no hatred. The guys released a joint statement. They're just like, we just don't want to tour anymore. So, you know, can I see the idea that maybe they would write a song together again someday? Maybe. Totally possible. Whether or not they want to do that, I don't know. But as somebody that has been on the touring side of things before I was on the radio and obviously sees what touring is like for the bands when they're not on stage, it can be really hard watching them missing things at home, you know, watching their kids have these, you know, recitals and plays and Cub Scout meetings and all of these things that regular parents get to take part in, and their touring rock star dads or moms are gone. There's great stuff that comes with it. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't all suck, right? There's the money, there's the fame, there's the accolades, there's the travel, going to amazing places. But there are families that struggle to spend quality time together when both parents just work and come home every night. And so you can imagine the strain that it puts on the partners being the primary caregivers and the ones that really don't get a break at all. and just the pressure of maintaining the career. And then as soon as the bands get off tour, they go into the studio and they're working on new music, or they've got podcast interviews to do. So they're in their own home studios talking to idiots like me all day, or, so, I'm happy that Shannon and Tony made the decision for themselves. I'm happy that Sully and Robbie are continuing on. They have not announced a permanent replacement yet. But look, we all are painfully aware through our own experience with people we love how tragically short our lives are. And while being a rock star is badass, I can't imagine traveling so much. I don't like going away for a week in the summer and coming home and trying to get my garden back in shape because I was gone a week. If you're going to be gone for 6 months, you can't have a garden. You're sleeping on a different mattress every night. You go into some hotels and you're next to the elevator, and other hotels, you're at the end of the hall overlooking the pool and there's an all-night rave, or the pillow is terrible, or the shower isn't hot enough, and you're doing that every single day. Or you're sleeping in a bus, and you're sleeping in a bus with 11 other dudes, or 11 men and women, or whatever it is. And it can be really hard to do that for 30 or 40 years, which is why sometimes bands just opt to not tour. Or, bands like Metallica, the M72 tour, they're playing shows on Fridays and Sundays so that the band can fly in and have some semblance of normalcy with their families, which a lot of bands are doing that, that they will allow themselves to play shows. Kid Rock does that when his son was smaller, that he would play shows on like Thursday night through like Saturday night. And then even if he played a show on Sunday, he would fly home so that he could make breakfast for his son before he went to school on Monday morning, because these guys are realizing that they're missing everything at home. And so I'm happy for Tony and Shannon. I'm happy that they reach the level of success where they feel like they can walk away with no kind of itch left to scratch, which I think is great. So yeah, they're missing things like birthdays. Sometimes these guys are getting offered big money to play New Year's shows or holiday shows, big Halloween parties. And so, they're off on the other side of the country, providing for their family, playing a big Halloween show for a radio station, but their kids at home going, why isn't dad here to go trick-or-treating with me? You can't put a price on that stuff. And, I always say that being a rock star and being in the military are not the same, but the families experience the same amount of separation. Differently, obviously, because the military families are dealing with the danger aspect of it while the musical families are not, but the missing part of it is the same. The travel part of it is the same. The burden on the partner being the primary parent is the same. The rate of divorce is the same. And so that's what's going on with Godsmack. I was kind of surprised, but like I said, this has been going on. They've been talking about this since before the show in October. They knew the show in October was the last one. Annette says, damn, I just turned 55 last Tuesday and I wish I could retire. My knees are shot to shit from working on my feet most of my adult life. Annette, I get it. There are not that many jobs that you can have where you can retire in your 50s in the United States and live comfortably for the rest of your life, unless you invest well, which is getting harder to do all the time, or unless you have a job with a union or some kind of government job or military service where you're going into it knowing if you stick it out a certain number of years, you're going to be able to leave with a pension and benefits, which is huge. My husband's in the middle of going through that process right now. So there you go. All right. So I want to remind you guys, especially if you're watching on Instagram or YouTube, or you found me on Facebook or Twitch and you're like, wait, Mistress Carrie like didn't disappear off the face of the earth when AAF went off the air more than 5 years ago? No. And there's plenty of places that you can hear me on the radio, including every weekday from 10 to 3 on 98 Rock, Charleston's Best Rock. Download the 98 Rock app, stream the station at my98rock.com. We launched something new last week. It's called the 98 Rock Lunchbox. It's the whole noon hour, and the music is from a theme. So it can either be, the other day we did songs that were all turning 25 this year. Today we did cover songs. Yesterday we did artists that are celebrating birthdays this month. So it's all the music in that hour is based around a theme, and it's pretty eclectic, which has been really cool. So that happens in the noon hour, the 98 Rock Lunchbox on Charleston's Best Rock, 98 Rock in Charleston, South Carolina. You can hear me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on 100 FM The Pike. I want to remind you, 2 more Woo Sox broadcasts are already on the calendar, April 24th and May 1st, live from the Sherwood Diner from 3 to 6 every afternoon. Game time starts at 6 o'clock. Gates open at 5, so that's why the show only goes until 6. And then Pike has got a bunch of shows that are lined up, including the summer kickoff June 1st with Tesla. The Hair Fest is already announced and on sale. And this year is the first annual Grunge Fest. All of these shows are at the Webster Theater. They're in Webster, at Indian Ranch, not the Webster Theater, at Indian Ranch in Webster. You can also hear me every weekday afternoon on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. So you can go to 1063thebone.com, download the Bone app, but you can hear me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7. We're commercial free for the first 90 minutes of the show every weekday. The 5 o'clock hour is the Attitude Adjustment Hour, and it is all request. So there's always something going on, always tickets to give away. The $100,000 cash grab is happening right now. So lots going on. And the newest addition to the list of radio stations, Mornings with Mistress Carrie, weekdays from 6 to 10 on Laser 99.3 and 98.5 in Springfield. You can listen at laser993.com. You can download the Laser app. One of the things we do on the show is the 90s at 9, 3 songs from the 90s every weekday at 9 a.m. So lots of places. All of the links are up at mistresscarrie.com under the radio tab if you're looking to find me on the radio. And I'm hoping to be able to add another station or two soon, so keep your fingers crossed on that. Want to remind you guys that coming up in September, I am going to be set up in downtown Leominster, my hometown. The Johnny Appleseed Annual Festival is in downtown Leominster every year. And so there's going to be a big Mistress Carrie legendary Leominster display down there. So pretty excited about that. Let's recap last week's podcast episode. So last week, Army veteran and lead singer Cullen Moore from Sleep Theory was my guest. Sleep Theory is getting ready to release their new album Afterglow coming up May 16th. They're going to be in New England for a couple of shows in June. They're going to be at the Sinclair in Cambridge. That's in Harvard Square. And they're also going to be at the State Theater in Portland, Maine. Details on both of those shows are on the concert calendar. But Cullen told me months ago, yes, I will come on the show anytime you want. We tried to get him on the show before the holidays, and we had some technical difficulties connecting. Then I saw him in Vegas in February, and he was like, I'm 100% coming on the show. He made good. His second generation Army veteran, his dad retired after, I think he said 24 years as a lieutenant colonel. And he told me the whole story about how his dad always wanted him to join the Army. He never wanted to do it. Then his life wasn't going anywhere. And he joined the Army without telling his dad. And then when he got out of the Army, he started Sleep Theory, and the band is one of the hottest rock bands out there right now. So if you haven't checked out episode 253, it's Cullen Moore from Sleep Theory, and it's available everywhere. And like I said, the new album Afterglow comes out next month. Oh, you guys are talking about Jelly Roll. Did you see him on Fire Country last Friday? What's up, Cheryl? Hello. Jeremy says, where do you find the time? I don't know. I just figure it out. Let's see. Jelly Roll was amazing, says Marcy. He's got so much going on right now between being on American Idol and being on Fire Country and going out on the big ass stadium tour with Post Malone. They're going to be at Gillette Stadium at the end of May. So there's a lot going on with Jelly Roll, which is pretty awesome. New episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast coming out at midnight tonight. And it's a new like metalcore band. They're actually not that new, but they're making a lot of noise right now. They're called Bury Tomorrow. So David and Tom from Bury Tomorrow, these guys are from England. They are on tour. I talked to them yesterday in Denver. They were at like a microbrew place, and we just decided to do the podcast there. So episode 254 featuring the guys from Bury Tomorrow. We were talking about some culture clash stuff that happens between England and the United States. They talked about what it's like to be a British band touring in the United States. We talked about inspiration. They spent a lot of time talking about the influence of Papa Roach in their early career and how Papa Roach is turning 25 this year. And we talked about their new album that is coming out next month as well. So add these guys to the long list of artists that are releasing new music this week, or this year, I should say. So David and Tom from Bury Tomorrow are my guests this week on episode 254 of the podcast, which goes live at midnight tonight. New episodes every Wednesday, but every Monday through Friday, you get the Sit Rep, rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates. You can hear the Sit Rep on Laser 99.3 and 98.5 in Springfield every day. You can listen for the Sit Rep on 106.3 The Bone in Portland every day. So there's a lot going on. Dirty Honey is going to be on Kimmel tonight. Dirty Honey on the Minecraft movie was awesome. I knew that they were going to be on it. I had heard from the band's manager that they were going to be on it, but I didn't know where in the movie. So when I was sitting in the theater watching the movie and all of a sudden I heard it, my husband and my son looked at me and they were like, what? Like, because I knew all the words to all of the songs, all of the rock songs anyway, not the Jack Black funny songs, but all of the rock songs. So yeah, like super excited for Dirty Honey. So you got to watch them on TV tonight. Carrie Underwood just performed with Papa Roach over the weekend in Vegas. They called her out to do Last Resort. She knows all the words because she's a fan. So I thought that was really cool. Let's see. Melissa, I got that coming up. That show just got announced. All right. So the Sit Rep, you guys know about all the places you can listen to the podcast, all of the podcast apps, all the free podcast apps. You can listen to the audio on YouTube. You can listen as part of the Pantheon Podcast Network, or I made it super easy. Just go to mistresscarrie.com, find the episode you want to listen to, and then just click play. It could not be more simple. Holding strong at 149 countries. That is how many countries are listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast. I have faith that someday we're going to hit 150, but it was not to be this week. If you're celebrating your birthday today, Patrick Carney from the Black Keys, Chris Stapleton. Remember Samantha Fox from the 80s? Today's her birthday. And also Linda Perry. And I want to send a special happy birthday out to my sister who's celebrating her birthday this weekend. And it's also a big anniversary. Paul Revere's Ride, Patriots Day, 250 years. That happened 250 years ago. They're expecting a major celebration this weekend in Concord. You can track the reenactment of Paul Revere's Ride. They're expecting huge crowds this weekend in Lexington and Concord for the battle reenactment and everything. So happy 250th anniversary to all of the Minutemen. Lots going on when it comes to music. So we got to talk about Coachella because we got to talk about Weezer. Did you guys hear what happened to the wife of the bass player of Weezer last week? This story is banana pants crazy, okay? So last week in LA, there was a hit and run, and 3 suspects took off into a neighborhood. California Highway Patrol requests backup. They show up and they set up a perimeter in a neighborhood in LA. They get reports that one of the hit and run people, one of the suspects, is running through people's backyards, and the police stumble upon a woman who, as it turns out, is married to the bass player of Weezer. She's in her backyard with a handgun. They tell her to drop it. She doesn't. They tell her to drop it. She doesn't. Eventually, according to the initial report, she pointed it at police officers and then they shot her in the shoulder. She ran inside her house and then came out 30 minutes later and surrendered and was arrested and charged with attempted murder for pointing the gun at the cops. Then they did a crime scene investigation because there was a police-involved shooting. She didn't just point the gun at the cops. According to the investigation, they got video from, I guess, people's ring cams, and also they got a shell casing. She pointed the gun at the cops and reportedly pulled the trigger. So I'm making the joke on the air at the end of last week because Weezer got added as a last-minute addition to Coachella last weekend. And I'm like, okay, so your wife just gets charged with attempted murder on a police officer and gets shot in a police-involved shooting. Do you still go to Coachella? And I'm like, there's no freaking way. They're going to get a stand-in bass player. There's no way. He played Coachella. Not only that, she got out of jail on $1 million bond, and she's expected back in court at the end of April. And then he was at Coachella over the weekend, where Weezer covered Metallica's Enter Sandman. Billy Joe Armstrong showed up on stage with the Go-Go's. Courtney LaPlante from Spirit Box showed up on stage with Megan Thee Stallion. Brian May showed up on stage with, Brenton Boone? But the Weezer bass player was at Coachella, even though his wife just got arrested for shooting at cops. Not only that, she wasn't involved in the initial hit and run. This was just a completely separate incident altogether. I thought maybe she was all freaked out because like the hit and run suspects were running through her yard and she grabbed her gun and she didn't know what was going on. And then like maybe there were plainclothes police officers screaming at her to put the gun down and she got all freaked out and didn't know what was going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Crazy. Now that I've seen the Minecraft movie, the idea that Jason Momoa is hosting this Black Sabbath Ozzy final show, he better bust out the pink fringe jacket from the Minecraft movie. That's all I can say. Okay. Stevie Nicks is the show that Melissa was talking about getting added for the TD Garden. The tickets go on sale this Friday, but the Garden is going to be rocking this year. Ghost, Linkin Park, Shinedown and Bush, Stevie Nicks, Nine Inch Nails, Eric Clapton. The Deftones were just there. Obviously, Disturbed and 3 Days Grace were just there. The Garden has got a lot of rock shows this year. DCU Center has got the Silver Scream Con 4 slated for September 12th through the 14th. And Sleep Token sold out in like 5 seconds. So people keep reaching out to me about tickets and I'm like, there are none. Good luck getting them. There are none. Big night live at the Garden. That's Everclear, Local H, and Sponge. A 30th anniversary concert tour for Sparkle and Fade. Those tickets are on sale now. Weird Al showed up with Yo Gabba Gabba, Rachel. That's right. He did. Annette says that is batshit crazy. Bish says, can you say divorce? Look, California's like a no-fault state, right? Like, she automatically gets 50%. If they've been married a long time, he ain't divorcing her because she shot at the cops because she gets half of Weezer. So, they're not getting divorced. At least I don't think so anyway. Let's see. Benson Boone. Sorry, that's what I meant. Benson Boone, Dina. Thank you. Did I say Brenton Boone? I meant Benson Boone. Rachel says the performance with Brian May was fire. The world is going insane, says Marcy. Yes, it is. Keith says, Carrie doesn't love me no more. Oh, Keith, happy unbirthday. I'm sorry. I got so caught up celebrating my sister's birthday this weekend that I forgot to happy unbirthday you. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Now go put your pants on, you pervert. Annette says, you did what? I'll deal with you when I get home. I wouldn't even know what to say. Honey, can you come home and can you call the lawyer? because I just shot at the cops in the backyard and I took one to the shoulder. Like, what? I would expect it if you were married to, like, I don't know, clown. I would expect it if you were married to, like, Tom Araya. You know what I mean? Like, the bass player's wife, the bass player of Weezer, getting into a police shooting. I did not have that on my 2025 bingo card. And I'm not making light of the situation because it's a dangerous thing for everybody. But when I saw the headline, I was like, is it still April Fool's? Like, this can't be real. But it is. Okay, let's see. So Xfinity Center, we added, hold on. I just hit the wrong button, didn't I? Yeah, Xfinity Center. So obviously the Breaking Benjamin 3 Days Grace show, that went on sale last Friday. The Offspring show, Styx is going to be there. So the Volbeat show with Hailstorm. There's lots of shows getting added to the calendar all the time. So I want to make sure that you guys are keeping them all straight. We're talking about Sleep Theory. They're at the Sinclair, June 19th. AC/DC coming up fast. Alice Cooper, Post Malone and Jelly Roll, the 31st of May. Clutch got announced at the Lynn Auditorium. George Thorogood just announced he's going to be at the Lynn Auditorium on September 19th. Incubus at Mohegan. The aforementioned Weird Al. Baby Metal at Mohegan. Creed announced the shows in Providence and in Manchester, New Hampshire at the SNH Arena. This touring year is just insane. Toto, Christopher Cross, they are going to be with Men at Work at the Leaderbank Pavilion, the Goo Goo Dolls, Chicago. It's crazy. My Chemical Romance and the Lumineers at Fenway Park this year. Really not impressed with the rock shows at Fenway Park this year. There have been so many great ones over the last few years, not too many this year. Big news at the Palladium, and this is happening at the Palladium outdoors. They are bringing back the New England Hardcore and Metal Festival. It is going to be a one-day festival at the Palladium outdoors. So they just announced this, the full lineup, link to get tickets, everything on the concert calendar. Plus Memphis Mayfire coming up fast, Mushroom Head already announced. So happy that the Metal Fest is back. I think that's awesome. Roadrunner, Poison the Well, Ministry, Jet, Dinosaur Jr., Garbage just got announced. They're going to be there in September. MGM, of course, Spirit Box is there this weekend. Devo, Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine, Queens of the Stone Age, the Pixies, Alabama Shakes, the Black Keys, Chevelle got announced. They are going to be there with Dead Poet Society and Asking Alexandria. Those tickets are already on sale. And then House of Blues, Architects went on sale. Less Than Jake, Manson, Machine Head, Bruce Dickinson on September 11th as a solo artist on the Mandrake Project tour. And Paradise Rock Club, the Linda Lindas, Melvins and Napalm Death, and then Billy Corgan and the Machines of God. That show is happening June 9th. So lots of crazy shows. More announcements coming about City Winery and the Grunge Brunches. So I got stuff that we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks. The all-new stage at Suffolk Downs has got this session, 2-day Irish music, folk, and food festival with the Dropkick Murphys and the Pogues. This is already on sale. You can get single-day tickets or the 2-day tickets. Not a big week for new releases this week because Record Store Day was this past Saturday. So Adrian Young, Something About April 3rd, and Neil Young, Coastal, the soundtrack. Those are really the only rock-related new releases that are coming out this year. So, I mean, this Friday. A lot of new releases came out last week, obviously, and then with Record Store Day. So, sorry, Wednesday. I'm opening up the mail call. So, this says, Carrie, Mr. C, Wednesday, Friday, and family. Happy Easter. Lots of love, Melissa, Tim, Opal, and Pearl. See, here's Melissa trying to get her house back together so she can move home, and she's sending me funny pug Easter cards because that's how she is. Friday, Daddy just walked by you and did not look happy with you. Did you do something bad? That kind of looks like Friday, actually. That's kind of hilarious. This says, oh, she just, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself, dog. Whew, I don't know what that was, but it was nothing nice that came out of her. Oh, I can taste it. I can almost see it. Oh, she crop dusted me. Oh, Friday, shame on you and your broken butthole. What is wrong with you? What did you do? That kind of looks like you a little bit. What did you eat? Shitter. This says, Pugs and kisses on your birthday. Happy 7th birthday. Love Opal and Pearl, Melissa and Tim. We sent 2 of each, so Friday won't steal yours. Yeah, right. So Wednesday's birthday obviously was on the 11th. So she sent Wednesday natural cookies. And she also sent 2 birthday teddies. Well, a birthday teddy and a birthday piggy. And the dogs have been trying for like the last day since I got them in the mail. They've been smelling them. I shouldn't even be giving you a new toy because you're a shitter. But do you want to become friends with the piggy? Because you pooped and you stink. Wednesday, these are your birthday presents. Do you want to play with the piggy Wednesday? So thank you guys for sending her birthday presents and sharing with her shitter sister. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate that. Just not okay. Just not okay. I have made preliminary phone calls about new merch items, so just know that this is in the works. Want to say what's up to everybody with Mistress Carrie backstage passes. Last call on Spirit Box tickets. If you have a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, they are going to be at the MGM this weekend. I got Spirit Box tickets, Trivium and Bullet for my Valentine's tickets, and Ghost tickets for people with backstage passes. So if you have a backstage pass, let me know that you want to go. If you do not have a backstage pass, you can go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie or click the Patreon logo at mistresscarrie.com. But we do monthly exclusive live streams. I put up exclusive photos and stories. I tell you who's coming on the podcast. When I travel, I take you with me. And of course, you get merch discounts when we're launching new merch stuff, and you get access to concert tickets. So there you go. A reminder about all of the places you can find me, all of the social links, all of the radio station apps that you can download to listen to the various radio shows, depending on where you are. All of this stuff is up at mistresscarrie.com. And also, don't forget to join the Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock Group on Facebook. It's a great place to share information about veterans events. I'm working on an event this summer. The details are coming very soon, so I'll have more info on that. I've also been working with the people from Veterans Inc. the last couple of weeks. We're going to be announcing some cool stuff we're doing with those guys soon. But it's just a great place to share information, resources. If you're a veteran-owned business, you can get the word out about your business. If you are looking to hire veterans, it's a great place to let people know that you're looking for work. If you're looking for resources, if you are looking for community, or if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, you can find all that and more on the Veterans Rock Group on Facebook. And other than that, that's it. So episode 254 of the podcast with the guys from Bury Tomorrow come out at midnight tonight. And the Woo Sox broadcast you guys know about. And I'm going to hope that the green fog here in the war room lifts in the next hour or so. The HEPA filters in the house are getting a distinct workout. So there you go. Happy on birthday, Keith, one more time. Happy birthday to my sister this weekend. We're going to go out for dinner tomorrow night. So I'm pretty excited about that. Do you guys want to say goodnight? Oh, see, I finally got both of them in the same picture. Oh, you guys look so cute. You're being very good when you're not shitting on the floor. Yeah, you're being very good when you're not shitting on the floor. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Good night, guys. Say good night, girls. Say good night.